Good evening. I am just a minute or two late, and oh, everyone's in the chat. Who's here? Double Karma, yes. Talking about the mask dodgers, yes. Yes, Shieldsy, I also did see that one about someone saying it was against her religion. These people are fucking offensive. And Peter, yes. Yes, there is no excuse for the way these people are behaving. And it seems to be orchestrated. Yeah, double karma. Especially that person who deliberately went out to harass staff at Bunnings. If they weren't just an asshole, if it was actually important that they got some stuff from Bunnings and it was actually important that they didn't wear a mask, you could fucking order it online. It's offensive. Hello, Invisible Chicken, as well. You love the Spock tie? Because I was going for a theme. As you can see, I'm in my cocktail making gear. It's a navy theme tonight, and I thought, what's my most navy tie? Well, this one is navy coloured, the space colour, and the Federation are basically the space navy. So that was my rationale for choosing the Spock tie. This is the most naval tie that I have. And why navy, you may ask? Well, because the next video I'm making is commemorating the Navy's Black Tot Day, when the Royal British Navy stopped giving sailors a tot of rum, a daily allowance of alcohol. I think it's Friday, the 31st. Which day is the 31st? Let me double check that I've got the date right. Yes, it's the 31st is Black Tot Day. That's Friday. So yes, 31st of July, 1970, the British Navy retired the rum ration, or the tot. And the fun thing is, by the time of its abolition, it had been reduced to 70 mils, 2.5 fluid ounces. In the early days of the rum ration, it was 10 fluid ounces, half a pint. So it had been reduced by almost, it had been reduced by 75% over the centuries. And of course, the thing was, it was Navy strength, stronger than usual. So yes, good morning, Laura, to you. Visible Chicken in Mass Effect, they call space military the Marines. Well, do you know why the Marines are called the Marines? Because they were shipped by sea. So the soldiers going through space might be Marine, but the vessels that carry them are Navy. Same as the Marines. The British originally called their seafaring troops the Marines. The Americans adopted the term. So yes, the soldiers are the Marines, but the vessels that carry them are the Navy. Lemmy, Florida death count under 400. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. What do you mean by death count under 400, death rate over 1,000? That I don't know what point you're getting at there. Mixing measurements. So, yes, I was actually going to look something up on here. Source of what's happening in America. Right. I was looking at things after 5 days in a row of over 1,000 deaths recorded. The US is down to under 500 newly reported deaths, and in fact, a lower number of cases, 55,000 as well. Testing rate is still very high. Positive test rate is still hovering around 8%, which is a bit scary. Yeah, I think. What are we? We're still basically the middle of summer for America, or the hottest part of the year for the US. I do very much worry what the coming months bring. It doesn't bear anything. Mitchell, hello. Yes. Yes, Invisible Chicken, I know exactly what you meant, and you're obviously right about the game. I'm just saying it is actually common for, in sci-fi things, for space-going soldiers to be called Marines, but because the vessels that carry them there are usually referred to as Navy, because navies have a command structure for vessels, and infantry, Air Force don't. When I was a kid, I always thought, well, space would be the Air Force because it's flying. And it wasn't until later in life I was educated to understand it's about the command structure for the battleships, etc. The Navy have a command structure for vessels, and the other armed forces do not. So that's why people tend to refer to space-going military vessels in sci-fi as the Space Navy. Dun dun dun. Yeah, Shieldsy, skip 2020. Yeah, careful what you wish for. Fuck knows what 2021's bringing us, man. Yes, Alexander, there's traveling in spaceships. That's what we call them, spaceships. We don't call them space tanks. Mitchell, what are the anti-maskers on about? They are perilously unhinged people. They are not on speaking terms with reality, and they have very strange ideas. And look, the other isn't. See, I'm going to make a drink called grog to commemorate the Navy getting rid of their Navy strength drink for sailors, because I got this little postcard that came with it. I got some Navy strength gin yesterday. I was going to say today, but it was yesterday, from the good folk at Brogan's Way, all the way from sunny Richmond, Victoria. Little handwritten note from Brian from Brogan's Way. Thanks so much for the support. I hope you enjoy the gin. I hope I do too. Navy strength. That's the strong stuff. Almost 50% stronger than normal gin. So I'm going to make a what do you call it? A Navy strength drink. Good spirits. Good morning to you, Laura. In the UK, it's amazing how many are refusing to say one limits their freedom. Jesus. Yeah. So, oh Christ! If this Lemmy liquor is a bigger cockhead as they seem, they're going bye-byes, because I don't even tolerate certain cockheads as a joke. I'll reserve judgment, but so far, high fives, yay. So the drink I'm going to make, grog. Not, again, if someone refers to a cocktail as Navy grog, they almost always mean a very rum-heavy drink, which is actually what the Navy gave out. These guys have got, what did I say it was? Gin, a gin-based drink. Gin and not much else, actually, called grog. So 2 ounces of Navy rum. Fuck yeah. Little bit of lime juice, little bit of sugar syrup. Now, they say chilled water. I might do lemonade and ice, because, you know, they didn't have lemonade or ice in the Navy. but I'm not going to let that hold me up. So, yes, the Spock tie seems to be popular. He's Space Navy. We're going to spend the entire time talking about the Navy? Maybe. You talk about the village people and their view of the Navy. Mainly, it's totally gay. That was what they thought in San Francisco in the 70s anyway. And they had a lot of sailors come into port there. So, yeah. This is the thing, growing up in a country town in the 70s and having no, positive representations of anything gay or even, understanding gay culture in the slightest, I had no idea that the characters in the village people, they were all just playing archetypes, and that they were different gay fetishes. I had no idea. Absolutely no idea. So that's innocence for you. An outfit as over the top gay as the village people, I had no idea they were gay, and not just gay, but they were doing gay archetypes. No idea. Stella, good evening to you. So that's everything I know about the Navy. The Royal Navy drank lots of alcohol, and the village people think the Navy is gay. So, good spirit. Navy and most of the military are smarter than, more understanding than the current president. Dude, frogs in toxic swamps are smarter than the current president. Yeah, Stella, that's the interesting one. Native Americans, I think that was just an excuse for him to be bare-chested the whole time. But you do get types, I guess. Oh, God, Ashley, you're arguing with a mask idiot now. Jesus. See, I can't even be bothered arguing with them because they're stupid as fuck. It's just agonizing. The anti-mask crowd are this horrific mix of stupid as fuck and horribly entitled. And I don't have much time for either of those, but that when they're wrapped up in one person, stupid as fuck, massively entitled, endangering others, deliberately being an obnoxious piece of shit to people, I've just got no time at all. Like, fuck them right off. So I just find them intolerable, basically. Absolutely intolerable. They're the worst. So I'm going to get shit-faced later. Probably should make the drink sooner rather than later, because 2 ounces of Navy strength gin, 2 shots is like 3 shots of normal gin. So I want to go to bed shit-faced, so I should do that. I should do that. Okay. So I just need Navy rum and lime juice. They say Demerara or dark sugar syrup. I'll use my agave syrup because it's a darkish syrup. I did have a dark sugar syrup, and I used it all. Yeah. God, Invisible Chicken, you were contacted by a random toxic transphobe because I did an angry face on a post or something. Yeah, the transphobes are definitely toxic too. Good spirit. Closer to completing your vocal booth. Nice. And you still like your Bloody Marys with jalapeno vodka. See, I'm not a spicy person. I am such a cliche white person when it comes to spices. I like a bit of spice. Like I've got a chili liqueur over there, but I can control that. I can just put like a half shot in a drink or whatever, and you get the zing without being overpowered. But I am I'm not great with really spicy things, quite honestly. It's very challenging to me. I don't enjoy the spices. So I know some people, they're so adapted to spices, they get all the nuance and the different flavors, and they love the burn. All I get's the burn. I'm just like, what's the point? I can't taste anything. It's just burning. So good spirit. You're not that big a spice guy either. Okay. Well, you good on you making your jalapeno stuff. Stella, Village People, he was more shirtless. He was not much more than a loincloth. Yeah, no. No, that it was. He was literally just wearing the loincloth. I think that was the fetish side of it. Laura, you're going to the US once, meet a new friend you don't even met over the internet. Told him he wouldn't be wearing makeup, it's easy to spot you. He said, I'll be wearing black trousers and a turquoise coat. I'll be wearing a Tassie jacket and cowboy hat, to which I said, will you be with your friends, the construction worker, the motorcycle cop, and the Indian chief? Nice. Excellent. Oh, dear. Yes. Yeah, so it was the Navy guy, the Army guy, the construction guy, the leather guy, the cowboy, the Native American. That was it, wasn't it? Or did the Navy guy, he was a cop though, wasn't he? Yeah. He only dressed up in Navy clothes for the video for In the Navy. He was normally a cop, wasn't he? So it was like cop, soldier, cowboy, construction worker, leather dude, and Native American. Weird. Mitchell Carey. It's the term came to be for an American thing for scary white women who called the cops on black people who weren't doing anything wrong. Like, black people who were having a picnic in the park and white woman, I don't know, thought they were gangsters or something. So, it became just because it's a generic white woman name. And there was this weird rash of white women in America calling the cops on black people for no reason. So, Visible Chicken, your dad used to make a pizza called a Fireball, complimented on the flavors of the chilies he used. Yeah, see, people who are into chilies get a whole bunch of subtlety from them. Yes, shelf warmer. I demand to see the manager types. And there's the Karen haircut too. It's not absolutely consistent, but the Karen haircut is reasonably, they're almost always blonde. They're not always blonde, but most of them are. Not natural blondes either. It's very weird. All right. So do I want to... No, I'm not going to bother to chill it because I'm going to have it with ice because I'm not a savage like the people in the old days of the British Navy. But I might get it together to make this because, like I said, it's going to be really strong. And I don't want to still be drunk when I'm going to bed. Actually, I usually prefer that. Sometimes I really hate sobering up. I'm going to chill a glass. Actually, yeah, I'll admit, like, I don't day drink very often. But I'm not fond of sobering up while I'm awake. I prefer to sober up while I'm asleep, honestly. Second, they spit. There have been lots of cases that. Yes, it used to be called the Can I Speak to the Manager haircut. Visible Chicken, that is a segment on Karen's on the project. Yes, Catherine, that short spiky haircut, a lot of ladies get in their late 30s, early 40s. So a lot of the Karens are they're basically Gen X women. Yes, they've turned into something that would have horrified them 20 years earlier, but they're I don't know, they settled into it and they're very happy in it. All right, I'll put my blood orange juice back and get my lime juice out. So grog is shaken, yeah? Shake it like a Polaroid picture. Okay. And they drive Subaru Foresters. Yes, they drive those stupid fucking four-wheel drives. I hate that. Living in the eastern suburbs, everyone drives the fucking things. Yes, shelf warmer. It is actually that angle fringe. It is reminiscent of Tony Hawk in the 80s. Definitely. I did see that Strictly Sega. Domino's is saying, oh, sucks if your name's actually Karen at the moment. If your name's Karen, we'll give you a free pizza. That was funny. Yes. Yeah. It would actually kind of suck if your name was Karen at the moment, actually. But shit happens. All right, so I'm going to put this back. Get this out. Yep. No, I was going to go to the supermarket anyway, get some limes. So this is my sexy Navy strength gin. Brogan's Way. I don't know if you see, there's this neat thing. They've got printing on the inside of the label. I'm sure you can see that. So, yeah, it's like distorted through the bottle, through the gin. I think that's really cool. Nice bit of packaging, that. So, you know, Karen is the most un-Karen person either. Let's see. She's very un-Karen if she has a good sense of humor about it. Yes, put the lime in the coconut and shake it all up. Put the lime in the coconut. Such a silly woman. I haven't even tasted it. I should do just a sip of it straight. This would be deadly. Very much smells like gin. Oh, it's Navy strength, all right. But when first in the mouth, there's a real sweetness to this. 57.2% alcohol as opposed to the normal 40% for gin. Old Man Saltbush Sea Parsley Mountain Pepper Leaf boosts its classic cardamom heat. So when I want to sponsor, there's something sweet in this. Like the really initial taste, there's a sweetness to it. It's interesting he's gone with so many salty, peppery botanicals in this. And I got sweetness. That was really weird. That's really weird. Yes, Catherine, never get that haircut. Alexander Yoda running with a wild Karen in the pharmacy. Jesus. Yes. Okay. Best bit was when the husband showed up trying to contain her. He was shouting, "Come on." Her name was really Karen. "Come on, Karen. Let's go. Leave him alone." Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's terrifying. So I've got the sugar syrup. I've got the lime. I've got, I'm just going to top it with lemonade. Ugh. On bitters. Angostura bitters. Where's my bitters? What are you saying? 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. And it's shaken, so I need my shaker. Oh, my shaker's over here by the sink. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. All right. Okay, so I reckon I'm ready to do this. I'll put some ice in this. Oh, I need my jigger. I just went over there and ignored my jigger, which I need. Strictly say, you think my palate's getting used to gin? Yes, and I've got more and different gins since the COVID stream started. This is a true thing. This is the third different Australian maker I've got gin from. The other ones were little sample bottles. This is a big full-size bottle. Of Navy. The other ones are 4 sample bottles. 3 from Tiny Bear and 1 from Applewood sample bottles. And now I've got 1 full one. Yes. Oh, yes, God. The calls about constitution and legal and, oh, my God. So fucked up. John, hi. Hello. Good evening. Laura, all the live streaming TFU Friday. Yeah, you're right, but I don't know, the whole. I've got to get into the mindset again. The whole COVID thing honestly fucked me up. I was it's time consuming to make videos. Every now and then I think I'm going to get back into it, but I'm going to have to really, really be ready to do it because it's just fucked. Yes, John, that's a big bottle for a big boy. Definitely. Oh, wow. Alexander, that's a wild one with a Karen. Someone shut it down. Person of color shut it down by saying, are you a house Karen or a field Karen? Damn. Oh, yeah, shelf warmer. That's the ridiculous thing. The deliberately going for notoriety. Like that, the one who's apparently the ringleader of the Karen thing in Melbourne calls herself a psychic and an ordained occultist or something. She appears to have not considered she's going to be the most hated person in Melbourne and people are going to try and fuck her life up. And because she had a business, she had like her name, phone number and all that. And that's all fucking useless now. So fuck them. Catherine, are you asking the difference between a house Karen or a field Karen? That's slavery terms. There are 2 types of slaves. The ones who worked the fields, who were treated very brutally, and the ones who did service in the houses, who had a much better life than the field slaves. And it is rumored that the house slaves would usually take the master's side over the side of the field slaves because they didn't want to lose their privileges of being in the house. Strictly saying, is it true people are going to her house? I hope not. That would be very bad. But if she actually had her home address on her website, she's going to need to move. It's as simple as that. Actually, physically threatening someone like that, bad call. Yes, Stella, not a good psychic. She didn't see it coming. She's a very, very bad psychic. And Megalich, hello to you. Hickey Dick, some become police officers. What, house slaves? Or Karens? Do Karens become police officers? Yes. And some become army soldiers. And we're back to the village people. Some are cops. Some are soldiers. Some are cowboys. Some just wear leather. Some work in construction. And some wear not many clothes, saying they're Native American. Okay, I'm going to get ready and make this cocktail. And it's going to be strong. I think you might have missed Eki Deck. We were talking about the village people earlier. So as soon as you bring up cops and soldiers, we're back into the village people. In the Navy, you can sail the 7 seas in the Navy. You can put your mind at ease. I can just get... People of a certain age will remember Rodney Rude, comedian. Whenever I think of In the Navy, I just remember his sort of homophobic riff on it. And yes, strict say a cocktail video, doing it for the Navy. A grog cocktail to mark Black Top Day, when the Navy stopped giving a tot of rum to sailors because they kind of thought they're going to be drunk. And we've been doing this for centuries. This might have been a bad idea. Right. I think I'm ready to go. Hello. Would you keep turn the volume down just a tiny bit? Thank you. I gotta check my camera. Is my camera properly set up? Kinda. Wait a second. Test my camera setup. I do it from here. Here, that's pretty. Oh, I've got to close this behind me. Right. I'm going to do this so you can see me while I still do this. So, Bronson, you want Rodney Rude? I think he's in one of these old folks' homes that everyone's got the Rona in now. Have I ever heard of the Esther Williams Trophy? I have not. Esther Williams, was she the one who inspired synchronized swimming with the old Hollywood movies? That sounds right to me. Anyway, so Black Top Day. That's what I'm doing. Just getting ready for Friday. This is the easiest day to do it. And I just want to try my gin in a cocktail, really. Right. I'm going to start this up. Get a little bit of a history lesson while I do this. Oh, for fuck's sake, you fucking piece of shit. Got my recorder going. Okay. Where am I? I've got to be about here. Right. Okay. G'day, cocktail lovers. How are you? Hoping things are going well for you, or at least acceptably. I'm going to make a special cocktail to commemorate a special day in British naval history. 31st of July, 1970, known to those in the know in the Navy world as Black Tot Day. And that's because that's the day the British Navy officially stopped giving sailors a tot of rum every day. A measure as part of their contract that they were given this rum every day. And it only got stopped in 1970. In yon olden days, when they were sailing the oceans, their daily tot was 10 fluid ounces, like half a pint, 300 mils. A lot of rum. Probably not very high quality rum. Usually Navy strength, which is up to 50% more alcohol by volume than standard rum. Standard rums are about 40%. Navy strength is 55 to 60% alcohol by volume. And they would get half a pint of that a day. So they were scuttered, basically. They tried to break it up. The officer said, well, we'll give you half in the morning and half in the afternoon. So yeah, just start the day off drunk, just start to sober up and get some more. It's, wow, okay, cool. And incidentally, this is also where the Limey nickname comes from, because in an attempt to sort of make it a bit less full on, because again, as I said, I doubt it was particularly high quality rum they were getting. They would water it down and add lime juice and sugar. And lime helped prevent scurvy, which was the biggest killer of sailors in the old days. More than battle, more than the other diseases that they could get while they were out and about, scurvy was the scourge of the Navy. And a decent intake of lime juice, vitamin C, was good at keeping the scurvy at bay. So they were drunk and healthy. I mean, you know, if they got to the stage of doing tonic water with quinine, which fights malaria, basically healthy, of which, of course, tonic is usually with gin. And the cocktail I'm going to make, known as grog, is a Navy strength gin rather than a Navy strength rum. If you see a cocktail called Navy grog, that will be a rum-based drink. Usually multiple rums, at least one overproof rum, sometimes a mix of fruit juices, basically a very tropical drink. This one, I guess it's somewhat more of an officer's drink, the gin. And I'm doing this because Black Top Day coincided with this little purchase of mine, another local maker, Brogan's Way. They're just a couple suburbs away from me, in fact, in Melbourne. This is their Navy strength gin they call the Royal Blood Gin. It is a 57.2% alcohol. It is a very interesting drop. I did have a little sip before starting because I wanted to taste it straight. It certainly is Navy strength, that very strong burn going down. I was very interested. The initial taste was sweet, which surprised me. That is how I took it. It refers to it as saltbush, sea parsley, mountain pepper leaf, cardamom, and of course, because it's gin, it's going to have juniper in it as well, along with those Australian botanicals. But the first thing I tasted was sweet. But now I'm going to put it in a cocktail, and we will keep the wide ocean blues at bay with some grog. When the Navy finally got rid of the daily tot of rum, it had dropped from that 10 fluid ounces down to about 2.5 fluid ounces. So it had reduced by 75% over the centuries, but they were still doing it. This recipe called for just 2 ounces. I was tempted to go with the 2.5 to mark the black tot, but you know what? There are limits to how much Navy strength gin I'm keen on drinking. So I'm actually going to keep it to 2 ounces of the Navy strength gin. It's a pretty simple drink. Along with the gin, we're going with 15 mils of lime juice. And a little bit of sweetener. They called for, in the recipe, a dark sugar syrup, like made with Demerara sugar or another dark sugar. I did have some of that and I used it all, but I've got my agave syrup. It's dark, it's got a rich flavor, it'll do well, but just 15 mils of the sugar syrup going in. Yep. Last thing going in the shaker, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Now, we're going to shake this for 20 or 30 seconds to chill it down. Get a little bit of dilution. Don't be shy about shaking it for a bit longer than you normally might. Navy strength gin could do with a bit of taming. Do like to shake. It's getting cold. It's getting very cold. I don't want to hold that anymore. It's really cold. Oh, my hands are so cold. Get my glass with some ice. No, that's a terrible idea. I was going to put this lime in there, and no, bad idea. I can't be bothered garnishing. Oh, where's my bloody strainer? Bloody hell. Lose my head if it wasn't screwed on. Okay. I have a few comforts the sailors never had. Ice, a shaker, a glass, more ice. Just straining that in. Picked up a nice bit of colour from the bitters, just very lightly colouring it. The recipe also calls for a couple of ounces of water, again, to tame it a little. And again, I'm going to live up the fact that I have some comforts the sailors never had. If you're making one at home, don't be shy about doing sparkling water. Soda, I'm just going to put a little bit of lemonade in to top it. And I might just make sure that's mixed. Ooh, that's looking very good. Now, how would I go as a sailor if I was going to knock back a couple of these every day? Oh, that is really good. So like I said, I had a sip of the straight gin earlier, and when it's 57% alcohol, it burns going down. And there's only been a small amount of the other ingredients gone into this. So it's not overpowering the gin. So those botanicals are coming through. I'm definitely tasting sweetness. I am going to have to write to the good folk at Brogan's Way and say, am I weird thinking there's sweetness in your Navy gin? Oh, and just the dash of bitters goes so well with the gin and the lime. The little bit of sweetener, you wouldn't want it any sweeter than this. In fact, if you like your drinks dry, you could probably even cut back. There's only 15 mils of sugar syrup. You could do 5 or 10 mils if you're particularly into the drier drinks with a slightly bitter edge. But this is good. I'll join the Navy. If they're going to give me a couple of these a day, I'll join. Oh, wait, the whole point of this video was commemorating they don't give you this in the Navy anymore. So I guess no Navy for me, but I am going to enjoy my grog. If you give it a try, I'd love to hear what you thought of it. And let me know if you'd actually go with any different ingredients in here, or if you'd prefer a rum Navy grog to this. Maybe I'll make a rum Navy grog another day. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, I hope you subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, maybe even cheekily tell your friends they should subscribe as well. And yeah, let me know if you think this is worth joining the Navy for, or worth quitting the Navy because they won't give it to you anymore. That's the real political correctness gone mad. Our sailors on modern warships with nuclear weapons can't be drunk all day? Political correctness gone mad. I'm going to stay here with my grog, leave you for now, and just say cheers. It is actually really good. Okay, I got to switch a few things off. Stop. All right. Well, that's done. That's for Friday. So I'm ahead of the game. I'm so good. Oh, wait. Oh, geez. There we go. Got to get back on the stream now. Right. Ugh. See, Laura, sorry, I just caught what you're saying, Laura, about drag. Drag, I'll go out on a limb because I'm old enough to remember feminists in the 80s. And drag is a big part of why you get some feminists who are very anti-trans, because they don't see, some of them don't see any difference between drag and being trans. And the women were often very pissed off at the way drag acts seem to represent women. So I can understand not being real comfortable with drag, quite honestly. So, yes. Hectic, you're a Parramatta fan. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. So, I was, honestly, I had a little bit of trepidation about how I was going to go with 2 shots of Navy Strength gin. This is really good. There's just a little bit of lime, a little bit of sweetness, just really delicate flavors. And then it sits in your tummy and is really warm because there's a lot of alcohol in it. So, yeah, 2 shots of the Navy Strength is about 3 shots of regular gin. So, a couple of those will fuck you up. Just saying, just quietly, just between you and me and the fly on the wall. So I reckon on Friday night, when I'm going to cut loose a bit, I'm going to make some Navy Strength martinis on 1, maybe 2, who knows, on Friday. Yeah, it was like, probably like 2 shots of gin and just a quarter of a shot of vermouth. And I might make it dirty. I've got some saline. I'm not going to put any fucking olives in it. I don't like olives. But, dirty is olive brine. And I've got some saline. So I might put a splash of saline in it as well. Do some dirty martinis. Dirty martinis. Filthy, not filthy dirty, because that actually means like a lot of saline, a lot of brine. And I don't want to do that much of it. Half a shot, maybe. Half a shot, just a splash. Splash of brine in there. That'd probably do it. And yes. Yep, okay. I've had, I don't know, half of this, and I can feel it. It's really pretty serious drink. I'll tell you what, 2 of those and not many ones. So I think, okay, I could go, should I track back through chat and try and work out what's happening. Oh, Kirsten, hello, by the way. Yeah. Esther Williams. Sorry, okay, we're going back to what was the Esther Williams Trophy? Williams Trophy. What was the Esther Williams Trophy? Okay, Navy Customs and Traditions. Esther Williams Trophy comprised a framed, signed photograph of Hollywood screen and swimming star Esther Williams, was destined to become one of the most unique, enduring, and competed for unofficial trophies in the history of the Royal Australian Navy Fleet. Trophy originated in 1943 aboard the destroyer HMAS Nepal, while attached to the British Eastern Fleet. Lieutenant Lindsay Georgie Brand had been gifted a photograph of the Hollywood starlet, which he jealously guarded. His friend and later Chief of Naval Staff David Stevenson took the photograph, inscribing it, "To my own Georgie, with all my love and a passionate kiss, Esther." Thereafter, the photograph hung above Lieutenant Brand's bed until it mysteriously went missing. It had in fact been commandeered by a fellow officer, removed to another ship, reportedly to protect Esther's honour. Photograph was later stolen back from that ship, beginning a tradition involving hijinks and skullduggery in order to secure the morale-boosting prize. Word of the unorthodox trophy soon spread, resulting in the photo changing hands over 200 times between 4 separate navies over 2 decades. I'll share a picture of it with you. The Esther Williams Trophy. Where are we? Share screen. My Chrome tab. The Esther Williams Trophy. Share. So that's a very faded picture of Esther Williams there. Coming up full screen. Yeah. So it says, "Take me if you dare. Carry me with honor." It's got lots of badges from different ships, like colors from different officers on it. So there you go. That's an Australian Navy tradition, apparently. So the Esther Williams Trophy, that answers that. Is anyone still there in chat? Good. Greg, good evening to you. I was just wondering if anyone was still there in chat. No one had posted anything for a while. So well, that was an interesting bit of edification, well suited to tonight's Navy theme. Although I didn't name the stream anything about the Navy, I was just making my Navy cocktail video, and thus we have been speaking muchly about the Navy this evening, and inevitably the village people. Nice, Strictly Sega. One of the things you find out being an old movie geek, definitely. And hello, Fletcher. Mega League is still there, but playing Subnautica. Fair enough. Stella has military trivia. Camilla Parker Bowles is the Colonel-in-Chief of the Royal Australian Corps of Military Police. Okay, that's weird. Kirsten, you're trying to research why I tasted sweetness in the gin. Look, don't rule out that it's because I'm weird. But I think, well, we'll both be on the live stream for Applewood tomorrow night. I'm going to ask there, just say I got the Brogan's Way Royal Blood, and the first thing I tasted was sweetness. Laura, be surprised to learn you've only ever been drunk once in your life and you were 9 years old. That is a good thing. Oh no, Invisible Chicken missed out on your Dan Murphy's delivery today. Not sure when to be rebooked. This is the joy of working from home. I'm never going to miss my Dan Murphy's deliveries. I did actually order one today. And I may have ordered a cheeky whiskey from Starwood. I might have. John, sounds like a mate who hid copies of Kinetic, Yankee, and King Arthur's court DVDs at each other's place. We don't want them. It's a horrible movie. That's fantastic. The opposite. Instead of stealing it, you actually put it there. Ah, that's great. I love that. Wow, I read that about Camilla. That is really weird. Fletcher, you reckon Andy's kicked out and Camilla takes his place? Well, yeah. That was the wild thing about watching the Netflix series, The Crown, the most recent series that had Chuckles as a young adult. And he's having a fling in his 20s with this woman, Camilla Parker Bowles. And it's like, really? She goes back to his 20s? My God. And that was, yeah, that's the thing. Invisible Chicken had to return a late uni textbook and your dad decided to go for work. Oh, bad timing. Oh, no good. Oh, that's unfortunate. It's what you yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. I have several bottles of rum. It's one of the things I ordered from Dan's today was another bottle of rum because I have decided rum cocktails clarified are like the best thing in the world. Rum is one of the traditional things to do clarified cocktails with. Brandy is the other. Those both being very old types of alcoholic beverage, and the concept of milk punches being very old. But yeah, I've made a couple with rum, and they've just been the best. Is definitely a pina colada. Clarified pina colada is like the best. But I did like a daiquiri, and I think I did it with a Mai Tai as well. But I've basically rum clarified. Yum. John, you're going to post a Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's court to your mate who's in France. Jesus. Strictly say, you used to burn your friends' CDs and sometimes sneak on Joyride by Roxette. Oh, no. That's classic, like Rickrolling. Yeah. Oh, no. Laura woke up with a massive headache, allergic to bright light, stayed in bed for a couple of hours. That sounds like a classic migraine, light sensitivity. No good. No good at all. For those who don't know, like, okay, most people basically know Rickrolling is like linking someone to Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up while saying it's going to be something else. But the original Rickrolling was so fucking devious because in the early days of the internet, trying to illegally download a single fucking song would take a long time. And so you were investing quite a bit of time in downloading just one song. And the joke was to one of the file sharing sites, upload a copy of Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up, but name it like the really popular song of the day. And so people go, yeah, that's the song I'm after. And they'd spend all this time downloading it and then playing it and just with that drum riff at the start. But it's just like, it was a real fuck thing to do because people invested quite a bit of time into downloading a song. And if they ended up with Rick Astley instead of what they were after, yes, Stella Kazaa and other similar things, LimeWire, the Pirate Bay. Yes, so that was the original Rickrolling, actually making people think they downloaded that song they liked and they would actually get Rick Astley instead. That's right back to the 90s, dial-up days. Oh, what a time that was. What a time that was. Yeah, but yes, that's another little history lesson. Had a history lesson about the Navy and a history lesson from Rick Astley. Strictly say, you're saying MP3s could be sampled as it downloaded? I don't remember. And he's now I have to admit, I almost never illegally downloaded things. So yeah. Laura, you think Rick Astley could be a great politician? Yes. No, he'd never give you up, let you down, won't turn around and desert you. Invisible Chicken Weird Al has a song called Don't Download This Song. I don't know that one. So Shruti Sager, on your 33K modem, you'd listen to the intro because Napster and Merck was hawking at label names. Ah, cool. John successfully never got rickrolled. Well, I didn't either because, like I said, I literally think I only ever download, and it wasn't even from a download site. A friend emailed me Nine Inch Nails' The Perfect Drug the day it came out, I think. And that was like my one illegal song. I just never did it. Goody Two Shoes, that's me. Never really illegally downloaded movies or TV shows either. I mean, I'm sure I did, but not very much. Whereas my offspring, fuck knows how many hours of like anime they've downloaded from torrents and whatnot over the years. I try not to ask and just hope we never get busted. Be really annoyed to get busted for something I didn't do. Should say, don't download this song. The record stores where you belong. Go buy the CD like you know that you should. Don't download this song. Cool. There was famously, this might have been 90s or early noughties when Madonna released a track, and she didn't really understand the internet, I don't think. And someone told her people were illegally downloading a song. So she uploaded an audio track to a file sharing site that had the same title as the song, but was her telling people, like, don't download my fucking song, you're stealing your fucking shit. Her abusing people, ripping off. And that, of course, became very prized to actually have that audio file. Madonna thought she was going to upset people, but then everyone wanted the audio file of Madonna abusing them. It was good. Yes, actually, Laura, Adamant, I was thinking Adamant with the Goody Two Shoes. Don't smoke, don't drink, what do you do? Invisible Chicken, you are right. Most of what they downloaded was not available legally. John, you like the tie? Everyone likes the tie. I thought it'd go with my Navy theme because the background's navy blue and Federation are basically the Space Navy. So, yes, John, when Metallica sued Napster, money-grubbing fuckheads. We're very anti-establishment. Well, they were the fucking establishment. Yeah, John, I actually kind of liked that episode of South Park where they were making fun of the pop stars crying poor. But for real, independent and even signed artists who aren't huge can't make a living from music now. They just can't. But if they're good enough and they get a fan base, I mean, they can make a living by playing live, but then some shit like COVID comes along and no one can play live. So the no income. But yeah, no, the whole file sharing thing and now streaming sites have made it so most recording artists absolutely cannot make a living releasing music. They have to do merch and like crowd-funded stuff from fans and whatnot. So you can say you never heard about the Madonna thing. It was big for a very, very short time. The other funny Madonna thing I remember was the producer, DJ Junior Vasquez, who'd worked with Madonna. He released a track that was called If Madonna Calls, I'm Not Home. And I don't know, because he had a falling out with her or something. And it was just him saying in this really sassy voice, if Madonna calls, I'm not home. And with a dance beat playing. And then he actually played voicemails Madonna left him. Like, Junior, pick up the phone. Why aren't you there? Why don't you take my calls, you asshole? Again, that's burning fucking bridges there, because Madonna is orders of magnitude bigger than Junior Vasquez. So that's real I don't give a fuck territory, to actually just diss Madonna like that. But yeah. See, Fletcher, you remember? Well, sorry, do you remember Junior Vasquez, or do you remember Madonna uploading the abusive audio? Or do you remember both? Fletcher and I are similar vintages, so we may remember stuff that you young people don't. Our memories stretch back further. To using an Apple II at school and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a thing. You know who knew the fucking internet before anyone else, though? David fucking Bowie. Look up some videos of David Bowie doing interviews in the 90s, explaining to people how important the internet was going to be. Again, David Bowie knew his shit. Oh, Fletcher, you remember the Junior Vasquez track? Yes. If Madonna calls, I'm not here. Which is just like, fucking hell. That is just start picking a fight. That is picking a fight doing that. Strictly Sega, you were into downloading the MP3s and real audio. Oof. Remember the old MP3 players, the things that would do pitches and vibe and mood and stuff? That was so important for such a brief time. Now no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit about the visual interface of music players, digital music players, whatever it is. You know, your smartphone, your computer, whatever. No one gives a shit about the visual interface. But there was a period in history where it was really important. Yeah, Stella. You're right. Yeah, Bowie was awesome. Would release samples for fans to remix. Yes. Bowie was a big recognizer of the people and the power of the power. Yes, Winamp. Strictly Sega, that was it. Winamp. I had Winamp for a while. Getting the different skins and whatnot. That was such a big deal. So you can say, oh, MSN had a deal with Bowie when he released his techno album in the mid-90s. John, back in your day, where was turnip juice? I think that's a Simpsons reference, isn't it? Lemons versus turnips. Laura still uses Winamp. Yeah, that's right. Winamp is actually still in use. That's true. And hello to you, Safa. Good to see you. Stella, you spent all your hours skinning. I was lazy and used other people's skins, but yeah, just getting the vibe perfect. So what the player interface looked like. That was a big deal. It's funny what we passed, because like in the early days of mobile phones, people wouldn't pay for music, but they would pay for ringtones. They would pay for 10 seconds for ringtones. Very weird. Yeah, Safa, Real Player. That's another good one that I think still exists now. John, you like a good visual equalizer? Yes. Yeah. It's I mean, obviously they're all still around, but it's just funny how like no one gives a shit. It's things change so quickly. And still you were one of those nerds. Yes. Yes, nothing wrong with that. So you can say your best mate used to have his old Windows desktop skin. When Windows 95 started doing themes and sounds for everything, me and some of my friends were obsessive about getting different themes together, from music and movies and stuff that played particular samples for all the Windows events. No one has that. No one wants noises when they open Windows and open programs. No one wants that anymore. John made you think of Crazy Frog. Again, trivia about Crazy Frog. Where that actually started, that the audio of the ding, 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 these two guys is one thing. Is one guy's party trick is saying he could perfectly imitate this tiny two-stroke scooter his friend had, and that was his impersonation of this little two-stroke scooter. And one of his friends who was a nerd recorded him doing it, and this friend was learning 3D computer animation, and so he created the frog character and synced the frog to this sound his friend made. And initially it was just called The Annoying Thing. People referred to it as The Annoying Thing, but then it got turned into this whole commercial thing where they called it Crazy Frog. And I hope the guy who made it made a lot of money. I hope he didn't get ripped off. So the the hamster dance, Strictly Sega. Oh my god, which is just the intro to the Disney Robin Hood movie sped up. Oh my god, the early memes were so fucking weird. The weirdest shit. The dancing baby was another 3D modeling software demo. Oh my god, what other weird shit from the early days? I always talk about the flying toaster screensaver. This is weird. Laura, when you were younger, you wouldn't listen to old people music, but new stuff. Yeah, I think kids can more easily get a wider range. They don't necessarily get it. Oh, Stella, Albino Black Sheep. Yes. Yes, all the animations that were on Albino Black Sheep. There was some wild stuff on there. And yeah, that was it, Megaleech. After Dark, the After Dark screensaver. They were great. Yeah, John, the dancing baby ended up on Ally McBeal. It was initially just this thing that was a demo of 3D modeling software, and they ended up using it on Ally McBeal, which is really weird. Strictly say, Leave Britney Alone was one of the early YouTube memes. Chris Crocker, wild as hell. My favorite thing about Leave Britney Alone was not the infamous scream, Leave Britney Alone, but the bits around that where he was threatening people. Like if you pick on Britney, he's going to fuck you up. And they were I loved it because they were unhinged. And it's so hard to tell if he was serious or acting. I think he was serious as well. Oh God, Stella, forever scarred by Papa Smurf. Can I lick your ass from Albino Black Sheep? Yes. There was lots of mentally scarring stuff on Albino Black Sheep. I mean, you remember Salad Fingers? I'm not saying that was Albino Black Sheep, but the Salad Fingers animation was fucked. Like good, but fucked. And just silly stuff like Charlie the Unicorn. Yes. Oh God, the early fucking viral hits on YouTube. Tay Zonde doing Chocolate Rain. It's like, what were the other weird things from the early days? Reliving the old days. Fletcher Dr. Wigwam. I'm trying to remember what that was. Oh, yes, Nyan Cat. I might still have the Nyan Cat app on my phone. Although they probably stopped supporting it, probably didn't upgrade it to 64-bit, so I probably don't still have it. Let me have a look. Where would I have it if I still had it? Games. Yeah, no, I bet they never upgraded to 64-bit, so I don't have it anymore. Got a video from a while back where I showed it to Aidsy for the first time. He was fascinated by it. Laurie loved Weeble stuff, drafts, badges, Kenya. Badges, 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 mushroom, mushroom. I did a very, very bad takeoff of that when Pokemon Go first came out. Did a very bad video and very bad me trying to sing a parody of the Badger song with Pokemon names. It was terrible. Because I'm neither a particularly good editor nor a particularly good singer. So I did something that required editing and animation and singing. It was not good. It was not good at all. Chocolate rain. Okay, so Kirsten, your brother still quotes salad figures and Charlie the Uniform. Yeah. Actually, you know, a weird one. It wasn't a huge hit. It was a bit of a fringe one. Marble Hornets. Does anyone remember Marble Hornets? These were the guys who went to enormous trouble to build the Slender Man myth. What the Marble Hornets videos purport to be as a group of young folk who were trying to make an independent film called Marble Hornets, and just weird shit started happening on the set, and the guys uploaded all these videos, and they're just bits and pieces, and it's this really, really slow build, and eventually you start noticing Slender Man in the background of shots, and it just is. I watched a bunch of it alone on a stormy night. Fuck, not a good idea, honestly. Yes, Laura, I shout in an angry manner on the internet, definitely. Safa, yes, I remember the Windows 95 screensavers. They were very groundbreaking. Please look at my horse. Horse is amazing. Give it a lick. Oh, dear. Strictly say Italian Spider-Man. I don't specifically remember that one. I can kind of imagine what it might have been, though. Ethnic stereotypes is what I'm guessing. Ethnic stereotypes would have played a big part in it. I might have a little splash of the Brogan's Way on ice. Oh, John, if you've never watched it, I'm sure it's still on YouTube. Marble Hornets is designed to mess with your head. It's back in the early days of the internet when people would do stuff on YouTube. The early days of YouTube, not the early days of the internet. The early days of YouTube where people would try and make stuff where people were never sure if it was real or not. And that's what Marble Hornets was. It was done absolutely straight, absolutely deadpan. And people weren't sure if it was real or not. So all the videos set to Gay Bar by Electric Six. I don't remember that, actually. Laurie's like the paranoia screensaver, saying things like, "What's that smell? Did you know there are deadly chemicals in your carpet? Did you leave the oven on? They really want to." That is kind of messed up. I've not heard of that one. But that sounds very messed up. All I remember about Gay Bar with the Electric Six is the guy who wrote it being interviewed on Triple J, and like, where did that come from? And he goes, I was riffing on that old Devo song, Planet Earth, you know? And the people going, I know the Devo song, Planet Earth, and you're saying there's you misheard some lyrics and thought it was about a gay bar, but it's nothing like your song. What? And I just thought that was brilliant. Him saying like, oh yeah, I misheard lyrics in this Devo song, Planet Earth, and the interviewer's going, the Devo song Planet Earth is nothing like your song Gay Bar. What are you talking about? So, yeah. Mm. Oh. Mm. That's spicy. It is really, like I said, the first thing I taste when it first hit my tongue, I did taste sweetness. It warms you up, and it's spicy. Hey Annette, how you going? Oh, good. So it's to be various game. I mean, I got something to put in you. Yes, you could just imagine. So you can practically memorize the llama song. We all did stuff like that back in the day. Yeah, one thing about this with the Navy strength gin just comes up to me. You like inhale the flavors, the vapor. Strictly Sega. I remember Cute with Chris. I do. Cute with Chris. Yes, I do. Laura, you got to go. Someone gradually get drunk. Oh wow, I'm not going to get gradually drunk. This is it. I'm going to go to bed. Just wanted a straight taste of the Broken's Way on ice. I'm trying to think. Cute with Chris, is that something that Toby Turner ended up getting involved with before he started drugging people's drinks? Controversial. John should check out The Holy Mountain, strangest film you ever seen. Seen some strange films. Let me look it up. See what the internet says about The Holy Mountain, 1973 film. What does Wikipedia say about it? It's a Mexican surreal fantasy film. Oh, it's a Jodorowsky film. Okay. Written, directed, produced, co-scored, co-edited, and starring Alejandro Jodorowsky. Wow. Okay. So, yeah, if it's Jodorowsky, yeah, it's going to be weird. Okay. Wonder if you can see it anywhere legally. Wonder if it's on any streaming services. Bye, Laura. A bit cloudy and nice. Bit of looshing, maybe. But still tasting sweetness. The lingering taste is spicy. Johnny drugged actors with LSD in one bar. That's not cool. Dosing people is not cool. But yeah, I don't know. In the 60s and 70s, people did wild stuff. Wild stuff. Yes, strictly say, yeah, Jodorowsky tried to make a Dune movie and it never came off. But a lot of people sort of saw, the production art and the interviews, and everyone thinks, I feel like we missed a really good film that we never got to see, Jodorowsky's Dune. Because God knows it was David Lynch was behind that really shitty one, wasn't it? Yeah, I call it really shitty. It had some good stuff in it, but it was just so like he tried to do too much, and then the studio cut a bunch of stuff, and none of it made any sense. So, yeah, looking forward to the TV series Dune, because then they could take enough time. Excuse me, with the burps. TV series of Dune, they could take enough time to tell the story properly. Much like at some point in the future, next year, or fuck knows with fucking COVID, next year or the year after, a TV series of Asimov's Foundation is coming out. And that's an epic, sprawling story that covers like 1,000 years or something. And there's a whole bunch of really different stories over that time. So I'm going to burp again. I'm an animal. Yes, Stella. David Lynch is overrated. I kind of like. I do. There's quite a bit of David Lynch I like his first film, Eraserhead. I fucking loved it. When I first saw that, I went, "Oh yeah, this is the shit." And I liked Blue Velvet, but a lot of his stuff is like, I just think this guy's kind of fucked up and has a fucked up attitude to women. I don't know. Oh yes, Jodorowsky had HR Giga on board doing the design stuff for June. Yeah, and Giga was he'd be perfect as a fucking designer for June, quite honestly. Yeah, but I have to admit to being quite keen to see this upcoming TV series of June. Oh, okay, Strictly Sega. Now we're going to fight because Wild at Heart was the one that made me think David Lynch was a piece of shit. And he just had an incredibly fucked attitude to women. That's the one that turned me off David Lynch. But, you know, everyone sees things differently. So, the thing. I have to admit, Blue Velvet. I loved Blue Velvet, at least the first season anyway. This is what the TV bloody forced him into doing dumb shit for the second season. And yeah, Stella, it's hard to argue with David Lynch is a wanker. 11 years, bro. Okay, cool. Shelf warmer. I'm not familiar with the June miniseries. Strictly Sega. Blue Velvet had abuse towards women, but it was abuse. Whereas I thought Wild at Heart had some fucked up shit that was supposed to look cool, which I didn't like. Yeah, John, the June film's not that great. Okay, I'll tell you my favorite anecdote about the June film. There's a video of this on YouTube. Patrick Stewart was in June, and Sting was in June. Sting from the Police, and this is when the Police were at their height. Like Sting made a couple films, and none of them very memorable. And yeah, he got cast in a fairly important role in the movie June, and you know, so he was a huge pop star at the time. And Patrick Stewart says like he knew nothing about contemporary music, and he didn't know who Sting was. And he'd kind of been told not to talk to him on set. You know, people were not to bother Sting, and the Patrick Stewart ended up talking to him, and he's trying to make small talk, and said, "I heard you're in a band," and Sting seemed to find a bit of mirth in that and smiled like, yes, I'm in a band. Patrick Stewart says, "What's your band called?" And again, Sting finds this mirthful that this guy doesn't know who he is and says, "The Police." And Patrick Stewart goes, "Oh, you're in a police band. What do you play?" Like he thought he was in a police marching band. It's just like, excellent work. Good job. Strictly Sega, yeah, he was okay in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, but that was like 20 years after when he was trying to be a film star. So yes, Guy Ritchie's first film. He's been trying to remake the same film ever since. Most successfully in Snatch. I haven't seen The Gentleman. I kind of heard good stuff about The Gentleman, but I haven't seen it yet. So I do not know if The Gentleman is any good. Kind of generally liked Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Actually, I prefer Snatch. Yes, Stella, I agree. Sir Pat is adorable. He's absolutely adorable. John, you like the juice over? Seriously, find the video on YouTube. Like Patrick Stewart talks about June, because he tells it in the first person, and it's funny. It is, even though you know how it turns out, it's worth seeing Patrick Stewart tell the story because it's really funny when he tells it. I think Stella, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are the best friends. Just all the pictures and video of them together is just fantastic. Strictly Sagi, kind of given up on Guy Ritchie. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. I think Sherlock was the last one he saw. I don't mind those Sherlock films. They're not fantastic, but they're entertaining. What do you do? I think I'm going to sneeze. I've been burping. Now there's this tickle in my nose. I think I'm going to sneeze. Am I going to sneeze? No, I'm not going to sneeze. Probably will just spontaneously sneeze at some point. I think, what order did Guy Ritchie do films in? Guy Ritchie. Filmography. Early career, breakthrough, short film, The Hard Case of... okay, his filmography: Lock, Stock, Snatch, then the film with Madonna, Swept Away, Revolver, which I never saw, Rock and Roller, which is trying hard to remake Lock, Stock again and failing, the two Sherlock Holmes films, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which was very ordinary, the King Arthur film, which is fucking awful. God, he directed the live action Aladdin, did he? I didn't realize that. And The Gentleman, which I haven't seen. And he's got one in post-production. Okay. So yeah, I've never seen the Madonna one, Swept Away. I don't even know what the one Revolver is. Starring Jason Statham, Ray Liotta, Vince Bastoro, Andre Benjamin. Okay. I'm not even vaguely familiar with that. I did see Rock and Roller. I think the Sherlock Holmes films were entertaining, not great. Man from U.N.C.L.E. was forgettable. The King Arthur one was shit. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of heard good things about The Gentleman, but I haven't seen it. Yeah, I didn't realize he did Aladdin either. Oh yeah, Strictly Sega, I do not blame you for being put off by Rock and Roller. It was just like, nah, he's just trying to copy the success of Lock, Stock, and Snatch again. So we've seen Revolver, can't remember it. Yes. Yeah. So we agree Sir Pat and Sir Ian are friendship goals. Definitely. They just just whenever you see pictures of them together, it just looks so good. So yes. I when The Gentleman shows up for free on the streaming services, I'll watch it, which must be soon, honestly. It came out a while ago. It must show up on the streaming services soon. So you can say, what directors do I follow? I don't really follow directors. I mean, old school, I was very much a Scorsese fan. And Spike Lee, I guess. I don't really follow directors though. Although modern day, I tell you who I could uh, be convinced to follow. Uh, Ryan Johnson, because I fucking loved his Star Wars film, and Knives Out was possibly my favorite film of that year, 2019, last year, that is. So Knives Out, I thought was funny. I'm just looking at. He did Looper. I didn't know he directed Looper, which I don't love. Science fiction film written and directed by Ryan Johnson. I did not know he made Looper. There you go. But yeah, after Knives Out, I eagerly await the next. Um, I thought his Star Wars was The Last Jedi was the best of the new Star Wars movies. Apparently, he's doing a Knives Out sequel, so looking forward to that. Oh, and he did a couple of episodes of Breaking Bad as well. There you go. So, yeah, I think I'll be looking forward to future works from Ryan Johnson because I liked his last couple. But I'm not really a director guy. But every now and then when other people will talk about directors, I'll go, "Oh yeah, no, definitely, yeah." There's a really fun podcast called The Rewatchables. These guys who really obsessively analyze films that they think are very rewatchable, and they will spend an hour or two just talking about the minutiae about the film, and they have their favorite directors, and they'll just go off, and I really enjoy listening to them. John, have I seen the Scorsese film Silence? I don't think I have. When did that one come out? Let me look up good old Scorsese. And by Scorsese, I mean his 70s and 80s stuff. Martin Scorsese's filmography. Let's go. Mean Streets. I don't really remember Alice Doesn't Live Here anymore, but I feel like I've seen it. Taxi Driver, of course. Raging Bull, King of Comedy. After Hours, I was never that into. Color of Money, Last Temptation of Christ. Goodfellas, Cape Fear, I wasn't big on. Age of Innocence, I never really watched properly. Casino was great. Kundun, that was an interesting one. Bringing Out the Dead was a weird one. Gangs of New York was okay. Aviator, I recently saw in its completeness for the first time recently. And it was pretty good. The Departed was a so-so remake of a fucking brilliant Hong Kong film called Infernal Affairs. The Departed is a very weak remake of it. Shutter Island was kind of silly. Hugo was a kids' film, which was not bad. Wolf of Wall Street, I enjoyed. Okay, Silence is from 2016. And I haven't seen The Irishman either. Silence. Epic historical drama based on the novel of the same name, set in Japan, shot in Taiwan. Wow. Okay, someone trying to spread Christianity to Japan in Edo era Japan. I'm not familiar with that one at all. No, Catherine, you lost your Last Jedi Blu-ray. No. So you strictly say you like James Cameron, Luc Besson, Christopher Nolan. Yeah, look, I do like Christopher Nolan and Quentin Tarantino, and usually Luc Besson. A lot of Danny Boyle, yes. Oh, and the old school ones like Houston and Capra and whatnot, yes. Safa, Dave Filoni should make a Star Wars movie. I don't know who Dave Filoni is. Let me look up Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni is an animation director. He worked on the Clone Wars animation, which is supposedly really good. And he worked on The Mandalorian as well. Okay, so he worked on Clone Wars, Rebels, and The Mandalorian. So I reckon he'd probably be fucking right up there. I reckon he'd be right up there for a gig as a Star Wars movie director. There you go. I don't know him, but looking at what he's done, he'd have to be right up there. So, that's interesting. So he's done a lot of animation, and he directed an episode of The Mandalorian as well. Okay, I reckon he'd have to be right up there for a Star Wars movie. With that sort of track record, because Clone Wars and Rebels were both very good by most people's estimation. And I think they were popular. I have to admit, I have a soft spot for Gennady Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, which was a series of shorts that were released during the gap between the second and third prequel, and they're better than any of the prequels, but they also make the third prequel make more sense. But especially the fall of Anakin, they give you much more depth for the fall of Anakin because of what he goes through in these things. So, yeah, I have a bit of a weak spot for them. I know lots of people liked the Clone Wars series and the Rebels series. I didn't. I saw some of the Clone Wars, but I never really watched it properly, and I didn't watch any of Rebels. But I heard good things about them, so cool. It's good. It's good. People are doing good stuff. Sorry, Megalich, what's that again? What I was just saying about the Clone Wars with Gennady Tartakovsky, the guy who did Samurai Jack. And so the animation is in a very similar style to Samurai Jack. You can probably see it on fucking YouTube, quite honestly. So yes, the Clone Wars is a very Gennady Tartakovsky's Clone Wars is a very different style to the more well-known Clone Wars series. It's well worth seeing. It's probably on YouTube. Can I find it on YouTube? Because there were a couple of very short features, but you can get them all together. I'm going to do a quick YouTube search. Clone Wars Gendy Tarkovsky. Yep, you can probably find it, like all of it, on YouTube. So there's an hour. It's still there. It hasn't been knocked off by Lucasfilm. An hour-long collection of Genndy Tarkovsky's Clone Wars. Go look it up on YouTube. Yeah, same dude who did Samurai Jack, basically. Strictly saying, Red Dwarf, we all moved back to VHS tapes because of how many less DVDs there were. That's fair. That is absolutely fair. Yes, that makes perfect sense. So Mrs. Angry's in the next room watching old Star Trek series on the streaming service, like, some original series and some Next Generation, whatnot. The tech particularly in the original series, but also in Next Gen, the tech is so clunky compared to what we actually have in real life now. As just do the trifecta. Burp, sneeze, and yawn. But it is almost bedtime, so that's excusable. That's good. Yeah, Megaleech, I think you would enjoy Tartakovsky's Clone Wars. It is basically just a huge amount of very different conflicts with different Jedi. I mean, it focuses on Anakin and Obi-Wan, but it also features lots of other Jedi, and it actually makes General Grievous scary. Like General Grievous in the prequels, like a fucking cool looking robot with bronchitis. What the fuck is that? Strictly Sega, I've enjoyed the stream tonight too, actually. It has been fun. I've really enjoyed it. But yeah, Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, General Grievous is a fucking killing machine. Like really, really quite scary. Whereas he was a fucking joke in the prequel movies. Looked cool, but like, why has he got bronchitis? Am I supposed to be scared of a robot with bronchitis? But yeah, the only reason to watch the prequels now is to spot the memes in them. Seriously, last time I was watching it, I was just going, "That's the meme. Ah, that's the meme. Oh, that's another meme." So many memes, like really bad movies, but lots of memes. And which, again, that is so weird because there are nowhere near as many memes about any of the other Star Wars films, which are so much better than the prequels. All the other Star Wars films are so much better than the prequels. Even Solo is so much better than the prequels. Oh, for fuck's sake, even bloody Rise of Skywalker is better than the sequels. Even this Rise of Skywalker is weak as piss, but it's better than the prequels. Yeah, the memes from the Star Wars prequel fucking cracks me up. It just spawns so many memes. Usually Obi-Wan being sassy. All the best memes are Obi-Wan being sassy. Stella, look, personal taste is personal taste. You didn't like the new films. That's okay. I thought The Force Awakens was good. I thought The Last Jedi was fucking great. I thought The Rise of Skywalker was a massive fucking disappointment. think Rogue One is close to being the best of all of the Star Wars films. Solo was extremely ordinary. But the prequels are just fucking terrible. They're too long. The script and the dialogue is terrible. The acting sucks balls. And the way fucking Lucas relied on computer graphics because he felt like they were cutting edge, but anyone who knew technology go, this is doomed to look like shit in 5 years. And of course, the effects in the prequels look fucking terrible now. The computer generated stuff in the prequels just look like shit. But yeah, so for me, it's the combination of they're too long, don't give a shit what's happening most of the time. The dialogue, the script is terrible. Like the romance, I'm watching the bit with the romance with Padme and Anakin, and I'm just going, has George Lucas ever talked to a girl? Is that a thing he's done? Because it doesn't look like it. Still, I just think Rogue One is just so good because completely unlike all the saga films, it's the nobodies. Rogue One is the story of the nobodies, the people who are the little people who just get ground into the dirt, by war. Whereas even, people die in the Star Wars saga movies, but it's glamorous. It's always glamorous. It's always shiny and zap, 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 pew, pew, pew. And Rogue Trooper, Rogue One, it's just fucked. And what I love, like going into it, I made sure to not know anything about it going into it, because I thought the coolest thing about this is we don't know what happens to any of the characters. And for all we know, they all die. Lo and behold, they went there, which was good. Still, my everyone has the bit of the death that touched them the most. For Mrs. Angry, I think it was actually the robot, and for me, it was the pilot. It was the Imperial pilot who defected and got tortured, but still stuck with them. And he was desperately trying to get the relay up to get the signal out, and he got everyone to do it, and he ran through, and he's got the cable, and he runs it, and the position's being overrun, and he's done the thing he has to do, and a stormtrooper throws a fucking grenade into the hold of the ship he's in, and he just has enough time to see the grenade roll, and there's nothing he can do. He sees the grenade roll in, and he knows exactly what's going to happen, and that's what gets me. He's laid everything on the line. He's risked his life. He's achieved the impossible, and he doesn't just die like that. He sees a grenade roll in, and he's got like 2 seconds to just go, nothing I can do. Boom. That got me. That one got me. And Stella, agree 1,000,000%. The Rogue One CGI layout was fucking awful, and the Grand Moff CGI was distracting. I was interested in rewatching the Grand Moff CGI. Wasn't as bad as I felt it was the first time I watched, but it was distracting, and it was stupid and pointless, and they were doing technology for its own sake. They should have just recast Grand Moff Tarkin. Nobody would fucking care if a different actor played it. That obsession with using technology because it exists. Ugh, that's what fucking brought George Lucas down with the prequels. His obsession with using technology just because it was there. It was like, dude, that's going to date. But yes, the Leia one was absolutely fucking awful. The Grand Moff one was more believable, but the Uncanny Valley shit just distracted you the whole time. They should have, okay, do shitty euthanizing CG for Leia. Sure, okay, whatever. But Grand Moff Tarkin, no one would give a shit if you recast the role. And in fact, I saw the actor who did the voice stuff for it, and he fucking looked like Peter Cushing. Not a dead ringer, but close enough. I have no idea why they didn't just well, no, I know exactly why they didn't recast it, because they wanted to use that technology. Look at this dark and horrible future where all CGI characters and they recreate dead actors in movies. That is a dark and horrible future that awaits us. There you go. That's my hot take. We have an almost inevitable future of greedy fucking movie studios like putting out like a new Bruce Lee movie, a new John Wayne movie, and it's a dark and horrible future and just a gross, sick cash grab and fucked. So strictly Sega, look up Shark Attack, 3 famous lines on YouTube. So you think Leia was good before she spoke? Yeah, it just didn't work. The Leia thing just didn't work. Oh, yes, that movie, Simone. Yes, I remember that. Yeah, all the best actors will die from COVID and be recreated from CGI. It's inevitable. It is absolutely going to happen. It's absolutely inevitable. And it's going to suck. It is absolutely going to suck. Massive artistic step backwards. But it's unstoppable. It's absolutely going to happen. Simone, that was Al Pacino was the male lead in that. It was what's her name? Was the artificial character Simone? Yes, Chef Warmer, I do remember the old commercials. Humphrey Bogart, Marilyn Monroe in a Coke ad. Yes. Oh yeah, Mega Leech. We go the whole way with human cloning. Why not? Yeah, that's the thing. Tell you what, the one I'm amazed there aren't films of William Gibson books. William Gibson is a science fiction writer who popularized the genre of cyberpunk, notably with the trilogy that started with a book called Neuromancer, which was a term I think he invented, but if you look at the meaning of the word, that would be like brain magic. Neuromancer would be a brain magician. And he tends to write in trilogies. He did the Neuromancer trilogy is called the Sprawl trilogy. Then there's one called the Bridge trilogy. And there's a more recent one, which is really about culture and advertising. And he's just such a good writer and such an inventive writer. And I have to get his newest one because I haven't read his newest one yet. Safi, there's the big question. Who gets paid for passed away actors in CGI? It's going to be a big legal fight as to does anyone own the image of dead actors? It's going to be a big fight. And it's all going to suck. But, my wonderful people, that brings us to bedtime, the end of this live stream. Thank you so much for joining me for this. I hope to see you again soon. I will, in all probability, be on tomorrow night. I have not heard from Aidsy for a couple of days, so I might try and find him tomorrow and see what the heck he's doing and what he's up to, and see if we can get him here and get him to say hello to all your lovely people. But I'm going to say good evening. See you all another time. Hope you look after yourself in the meanwhile.